So for some reason, I get a little bit of abuse for taking profit on projects, for rebuying low if I need to, for just seeing a logical area. Now, this is an exit plan for if I hold Matic. And what you can see on the screen is a very, very clear and obvious example of a round trip where market crashed. This is, you probably remember this if you're around. Luna popped, didn't it? Went wrong. And it retraced back up into these levels. Now, you could talk about so many of these levels on a lot of coins, but this is a real significant level from the past. It then corrected, went down quite a lot from that point. As you can see, right, we've corrected what? Give about 60, 70% of the market. Nice. So the problem is, and I want to talk about it, is obviously people round tripping their bags. Psychology-wise, it's very simple. It's, oh my God, we're going to make it, it's going to keep going up forever. Oh no, it's not. I talked about it on Bitcoin recently in terms of the price looks nice at this level here. This level, if you go to the 3-month time frame, it's brilliant, by the way. This is a huge level rejection, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the cycle. It doesn't mean anything. It just means people have taken profit because they're smart, right? At the end of the day, everyone has to have a plan. And look at where that plan went to, right to the 618 levels. FOMO area. If we break this level, I think we're going to get FOMO. I still think we're going to go and retest this area. Still looking pretty decent in my opinion. We're always going to get a pullback on everything we talk about, right? Because it's just how the market moves, right? Back to this. Back to the mess, right? The mess is people don't see the logic in taking profit, and it kind of annoys me. It makes me a little bit bored of the space in a way, because money is king. Taking profit is king. Having the ability to rebuy back low is obviously good. Now, these levels here, they're just randomly plonked out in terms of what I would do. Why? Levels of structure, hugely important from the past. We can also see what's also happened prior and during this cycle. This cycle swing hasn't broken structure yet. Again, you look at this level here, multiple levels of rejections and also levels of support, which is huge. Obvious level. Up here as well, you can see some multiple wicks into it. Kind of obvious, and a psychological area just above $2. That is kind of what I'd do. Obviously, if we go higher, let it run for obvious reasons, right? The psychological element of all these levels is huge. Now, if we talk about bigger swings as well, look at these higher time frames, you're going to find that when we melt and we pull back up to regions, we're going to find new levels of data. Why is this level significantly important? Well, this is a thing. When we're looking at the bear market, we're looking at areas where to buy. Same when the bull market, looking at ways to sell. You know, realistically, in the bear market, I'm going to be putting buy orders in places, and I'm going to be doing YouTube channels for just to show you where to plonk your monies. Right, so let's look at this. This level here is the obvious swing high, right? You can just see it. If I go to the weekly time frame, it probably makes more sense. Swing high. We pulled back up over a period of weeks into this region where I've put a take profit level, right? I reckon we're going to see some very juicy levels lower down. When you're in and around and getting a hard on about a potential pullback and everyone's going on about lengthening cycles, things are going to get pretty crazy. And we're showing you the logic here because you can flip it the other way around. Now, if we do a fib from that point, from this low, from this high to this pullback, right, you can see the obvious pullback. This is a weekly time frame, by the way, which is huge. Now, why is this important? If I go to the lower time frames, you'll probably see it in more detail. It's an aggressive pullback. It's a big push back up. Went to the 50% on the nose, but it also went to the 618 right on the nose here. And I know a lot of people go, fibs don't work. And why do you only do fibs? Because they do work. What they give you is levels of structure for the future. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect here, because you're not. But I would much rather go for the extension levels on certain things, obviously ignore that one, and see if my orders hit. This is the exact same way in terms of taking profit, right? Stick with me. I know it looks like an absolute dog's dinner, this chart, but you can see what I mean. There's an extension level here, right? Right across the 618. There's also an extension level here, the minus 2.72. Now, if you were to, like, say, sell up here because you think that the structure has changed, and you'd be right to do so, lower highs and all that kind of stuff, and we've had a rejection, you know, you're below the EMA 21 and you've got a level here, which is quite a long way away. That's not a bad place to be. Yes, I know it melted through, but ultimately there's also another level down here. You're just going to see, well, if I put a round order in around here, which is just below that level, and an order above this level here, you know, that's how you buy the dip. You do the exact opposite for taking profit, right? That's kind of my point on this video, to showcase that you can do it both ways. And I know it's more of an exit strategy, but for psychological stuff would probably help some people here, because I'm sick of getting shit for it. Anyways, let's talk about it when we talk about removing all the noise, right? So again, if we just remove all the noise, remove all the noise, remove all the noise, bear with me, start again, bosh. TP levels, right? Huge, huge, huge. Now, these TP levels, as I've said, we'll go back to them. Now, why is it important? Because if you're looking at swing structure, look at this low to this pullback. Went down to here. What about if we pull back from here and we go, can't speak. Continue going higher. These are extension levels where you can look at things. Look at in between the middle, not far away. That one isn't the sort of thing I'd look for. I'd be more interested in this low here. From the low to where we pull back into this region. Are we going to continue going high? Well, extension level, extension level, extension level. Very much close to those regions. But personally, I don't like to look at those. I like to look at levels of structure, because often you find we will go and retrace back up. Again, I can talk about this on the BTC pair, where we're looking at certain regions where things could look cool. This is the BTC pair. Now, I've talked about this level for a while, thinking this is a really interesting level. Will price go back up to that? Well, it did. BTC narrative is always going to be king here. Now, when we look at this, obviously go up to this point here. Yeah, cool. But I wouldn't bank on this doing an all-time high from this point, because that's going to be savage. But ultimately, you can see where some of these levels are. So yeah, round tripping, looking for the future, looking at extension levels, seeing where things can go. It's very, very interesting. Obviously, fibs help. I know everyone doesn't really like them, but they work for me, and I've always used them, and they've made me a hell of a lot of money in the past. You've got to look at where things can go. Even if you're going to put your whole bag here, I would probably say, no, obviously these numbers, you know, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's different. You know, if you're going to make a decent chunk of money, that isn't a bad place to take a lot of profit, even here. Because if BTC is much higher in price, well, you're going to make even more money, essentially, right? Especially if it's going up with it. But anyways, let's not talk too much. But the final thing that we need to talk about is obviously what could happen here with the dominance. Is dominance going to go and retrace back up to these sort of levels and then melt from that point and then go back down and see a 30%? Maybe. Who knows? Anyways, if you want this video early, join the YouTube membership thing. It's like a little join button. Small fee, but you can get these videos early. It's very different to Patreon. It's very, very simplistic, but you can get my YouTube videos, 5 videos, earlier. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you got some value here. I know it's a bit of a waffle, but let's address the take profit element. It's a big elephant in the room. Let's be honest.